Hi, I'm Michelle, and I'm here with Half Orc Will Travel, and we're having a thing of adventurous eating. So 2022 is off to a start. We're trying something new beginning of the year, and then we'll go back to the mystery baskets in a couple weeks. So one of the things I've discovered in walking through the different stores, World Market, Sprouts, Whole Foods, or Whole Paycheck, and just any of the various regular grocery store aisles, are there a lot of ingredients that I've never used before. I have no idea what they taste like, etc. And after watching a lot of cooking and food shows, there are definitely things that I've never tried, but I'll give it a shot now and then. So we're going to go with a few of those today. We're going to start off with shrimp or prawn crackers. Now these are little hard pieces of dehydrated shrimp or prawns. They come in various other types or flavors, but I went with shrimp because I like it. Now when you pull them out of the bag, you cannot just bite into them like you can a potato chip. They're very hard, small, they're very crisp. It's very much similar to, say, a box of potatoes that you're going to pull, mix in with milk, butter, blah, 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 throw it in the oven. They rehydrate in the oven. Well, in this case, you take these hard little pieces of shrimp, heat up oil to about 375, drop them in, and in about 3 to 4 minutes you get this lovely little chip. They're very light, airy, crunchy. They're a really good snack. They have a little bit of the shrimp or seafood flavor. They're faintly sweet, but they're very crunchy, easy to eat, and be a really good snack. If somebody has a shellfish allergy, then I would not recommend having those around because it could trigger a reaction. But for a basic snack, they're fun. You could use them with a dip or chopped up a little bit on top of a salad. You could garnish soups with them. Basically, the possibilities are endless. It'd be the same as having a potato chip, just with a lighter texture. Think similar to almost Pringles, but not that hard. They're very easy to eat, and you can make a bunch ahead of time, store them in a sealed container with a little bit of paper towel or napkin in there to absorb any moisture, and they're good for a day or two. I don't think they're going to be around that long. Again, they're very easy to find if you go to an Asian market. I will say that it's teeny tiny -2 font. It's itty bitty writing on a patterned background, so it makes it difficult to read. They're in several different languages, and I think on the bag the temperature said 200 degrees Fahrenheit for the oil. No, you actually need it closer to 375, 350. You know, your deep fat fryer, don't overcrowd it because when those little tiny bits go in, they swell up. But go closer to regular US frying temperature, you'll be a lot happier. I followed the directions the first time, and it took a lot longer to cook, and the texture wasn't good. When I turned the temperature up to 375, you get what you have here. Give it a try. They're a lot of fun. Get kids to try something new. We're going to go on to barbecue crickets. So crickets are touted as one of the sustainable protein sources for the future. I don't know how true that is. I do know that they're easy to propagate and grow. But as far as the American public eating crickets, I'm not sure how well that's going to go over. In other countries, it's an acceptable form of protein, and I have nothing against that at all. That's just not something that we've grown up with here in the United States. So they're little teeny tiny things, about like that, and it is a cricket. They're coated with a barbecue flavored powder. They come in different flavors. I found these at World Market, but you can find them on the interwebs. They're not that expensive. It's about $3 to $4 for a small bag, and again, different flavors. So find one you like if you want to try it. Give it a shot. So here goes. So they're crunchy. They're a little, if you just look at it and think it's a bug, it's going to be off-putting. but the flavor is more of a nutty flavor. You're not getting anything of what you would think a insect would taste like. And actually, you're getting a little bit of barbecue flavoring, but not a lot. I've used these before last summer in a mystery basket challenge, incorporated into a bean patty for more of a vegetarian type dish, if you can consider bugs protein for vegetarian. Um, that being said, they're not bad. They'd be really good, crunched up a little bit, thrown on top of a salad. If you want to freak your friends out, it's a fun way to do it. It's more about the crunch. And because they're roasted, they're not going to have, like, there shouldn't be a metallic flavor or anything just weird. It just is very similar to having a crunchy kind of barbecuey crouton, if you can think of it that way. Um, I'll be using these in other things. I think they'd be really fun to add to toppings around Halloween for crackers for, Halloween goodies. But you could float them on soups. You could put them into meatloaf. They would incorporate very easily. So give them a try. Let me know what you think on it. They're kind of interesting and fun in a kind of weird way. All right, so next on the list we have starfruit. Starfruit, this is actually half of one. As you can see, there's a little pattern inside, and they have seeds. They're about the size of a watermelon seed. They're really easy. You just slice them up. The outside is really easy to cut off, and you wind up with this nice little shape. The texture is similar to an apple. As you can see, the apple has a little star pattern in there as well. And they have a tropical smell to them, but they're a little more fibrous than an apple. The flavor is similar to an apple or a cucumber kind of thing. Yeah, it's kind of a cross between an apple and a cucumber with just a faint hint of watermelon thrown in. This would be something that I would add to like summer drinks or any tropical dessert. Like if you have say you have a lemon or a lime curd pie, like a lemon meringue, you could put little stars of starfruit on top as a decoration. You can put them in iced tea to flavor that. I'm not sure how well they'd puree for like a smoothie, but I'm sure you could do that. Think tropical fun. You could probably freeze them in the summertime and add them into things as well. I think it'd be really fun to make a tropical iced tea and float that in it, just for added fruits and veggies, and keep your drink cold at the same time. Yeah, they do look cool, but it's really good. We're going to be having them on a regular basis. I have never actually had them before today. I thought I'd give them a try. All right, so we'll save the durian for last, and we'll go on to the drinks. So we have Milky's, which is a Korean milk-based drink. It has some carbonation. I actually tried this one last fall for one of my anthropology classes. We had to pick a drink or beverage and track the course of the drink, how, who makes it, who drinks it, the history of the company. It was kind of interesting. I tried it for the first time. It runs about $6 or $7 for a 6-pack, and you can find it at any Asian market. So as you can see, it pours out a little on the opaque side from the milk, and it tastes quite a bit like apple cider. Sorry. There's some carbonation, not much, and it dissipates fairly rapidly, but it does give it a little bit of a lift. It's not overly sweet. It would just be like if you took a sparkling cider and added some milk to it to make a milk punch. This would be really good for kids. If you wanted to have a non-alcoholic beverage to serve, liven it up a little bit. With any of the 3 beverages today, you could add a little bit more pep with some tonic water or club soda, just to give it a little bit more carbonation. But this is actually pretty pleasant. I think I would like to play with that a little bit and mix it in with other beverages to make kind of a combination, either alcoholic or non-alcoholic. But it's a fun way to try something new for not a lot of money. So the next one is going to be the white gourd soda. And this, one of our faculty members brought to an event we had outside when it was safer to gather during COVID times. And I didn't try it then, but I told him I was going to bring it home and try it. So I poured it out. There is no carbonation to it whatsoever. Yeah, no carbonation, but it has a very caramely nose and flavor. So think of it as like it tastes like a coating for like a candied apple almost in a liquid form. It's very sweet. It's sweeter than the Milkies. This would be one that I would like to maybe reduce down a little bit and use in a flan or even as a glaze for cinnamon rolls or cookies or some other pastry. It could be fun added to like pork or shrimp as part of a glaze with some chilies to give it a sweet and spicy flavor. It's not bad, but it is very sweet. If I was going to drink it by itself, I would want to put it over some ice, again, or add it to tea or use it in place of a simple syrup in a recipe. And then the last one, I'm not sure of the country of origin. All these cans have super teeny tiny writing, and I have bifocals, so it's not working very well. Okay, so this is grass jelly drink with honey and coconut flavor. So part I've found of these jelly drinks, I found trying to do this earlier, is there are little jellies in the bottom. So you need to really have a larger glass than this if you're going to pour it out. And let me get a bowl here and I'll show you what it looks like. These are little jellies made, I'm sure, with the plant cellulose, and they're very similar to boba. The texture, they're like little chopped up shards of jelly, and the texture is very similar to boba. So I would recommend with this, again, use a larger glass, maybe dump the can out into like a measuring cup. That way, if you're splitting a can between several people, you can make sure everybody gets some of the jelly bits. It's very, very thick or dark, so you cannot see through it. It has kind of an earthy nose, but sweet. So you can, yeah, not as caramely as the white gourd sodas, so that's kind of interesting. But it is very sweet. It's the sweetest of the three. You get the honey in there. I'm not really getting any coconut, so they might use some of the coconut in the jelly bits as well. But it's not an unpleasant drink, but it's different than what I'm used to. I think all three drinks would be a little bit better with more carbonation, but that could be just because that's what I'm used to here in the United States. Other countries have different standards or different norms as far as food and beverage textures and production. So this just could be a cultural thing for me, but I could see adding the grass jelly beverage to other things. Maybe add it to a Jello salad, or even use boba pearls to make it an even more gelatinous or adventurous drink, depending how you want to look at it. I wouldn't rule it out for mixing it or using it as a mix in other beverages, but I would, if you're going to use this one in another beverage, make sure that you plan ahead for the jelly bits. If somebody is not expecting to have little bits in the bottom, it could be a rude awakening. So that being said, but it's not bad. It's actually, they're all fairly pleasant, but I think of the three, my favorite is the Milkies. But again, that's just me. I prefer the carbonation a little bit more than a flat beverage, but they could be used in tea or something else. Give it a shot. I think this one runs about 90 cents to $1. Again, this was a 6-pack for $7, And I'm not sure what these run. This was brought by, like I said, one of the faculty members. I don't think they're very expensive. So if you're walking through a different market and you see something you want to try, pick it up and give it a shot. So I'm saving the most interesting one for last, durian. We've all watched the cooking shows where durian is brought out, and I love it, love it or hate it kind of expectation comes out of that. It's known for being very potent. It is said to be an acquired taste. I don't know that I will acquire that taste, but we'll give it a try. So I have two types, again, picked up at the local market. We have one, this has taro root and durian in a pastry, and this is mung bean and durian in a pastry. So I've cut them open, and as you can see, the taro root is a little bit on the purple side, just like the packaging, so that makes it helpful if you accidentally open two. The pastry is kind of firm. It doesn't flake apart super easy, but it's not hard as you might expect from something that's a little on the denser side. The inside is a little medium firm, I guess. It's not super squishy. It does have some give to it. It does have a funky smell though. So you can smell the durian, because I don't think taro has much of a scent. It's a little funky. Think ripe, or overripe, slightly rotting fruit, but sweet at the same time. It's a little bit of a disconnect. So here goes for the taro. Wish me well.
Just going for it.
Oh yeah, that's all you can do. So it is a little bit sweet. The filling is a little on the grainy side. I'm thinking that's probably from the taro root. It's not unpleasant. It definitely would be an acquired taste. The pastry is actually fairly nice. It doesn't break apart and shatter like you might expect. And the inside is actually it's a pretty decent filling. Um, you definitely get the durian in the middle and on the finish to it. For this one, I would say if you're going to try and mix it in with something, if you're not sure, maybe chop it up really small, mix it in with some maybe softened ice cream and then refreeze the ice cream again. Or if you want the funk, because some people really like that, like isn't a sour beer, the funk with a farmhouse or sour beer, you could probably pair it with that and it might go well. I don't know, I haven't tried it. But do it in small pieces. Again, let people know ahead of time so they're not surprised, because that could go over very badly. But this one is not terrible. I'm not going to say that I won't try or have the taro and durian again, but it would not be my go-to as a fruit. I think durian seems to be a little bit more beyond the funk that I would look for, but it's not unpleasant. Now this is the mung bean and durian, and it's actually has more of a rotten fruit smell. Still smells equally sweet. And it's yellow from the mung beans. Okay, wish me luck on this one. It's a softer center. Sorry. It is definitely more pronounced in the durian flavor than the taro root one. Yeah, the finish on that one is durian punches you right in your palate. Of the two, I would go with the purple taro root one over the mung bean one. The durian is really forward in this one. I don't know that you could hide that flavor in anything. I'm sure if you have something like apricots or nectarines or something, and you could pair with that, it might mellow it out a little bit. But man, that's a heck of a punch. So this is what we're starting the year off with, was Adventurous Eating with Fork Travel. And we'll go back to the mystery basket Probably in about 2 weeks, we'll have a Valentine episode where we'll see what you can make with things in the pantry that don't cost a lot of money, or maybe something out of the ordinary to throw in that you wouldn't expect for a nice Valentine's meal with your loved one. And remember, life is too short for bad food. Have a comment, have an idea, drop me a message, or go to forktravel.com and leave a comment.